Warning, viewer discretion is advised.
Flash games, the phenomenon that swept across computer labs and potato PCs all around the world. In all seriousness, these bite-sized applications made the whole web browsing experience far more engaging. You could be chatting it up on one tab, watching YouTube on another, and be kicking some sick flips in Fancy Pants Adventure. That's not to say games are the only thing on display. Oh no, the amount of weird Flash stuff is just crazy.
I'm Peter Griffin. Oh.
Though it can't be denied that games were truly its biggest selling point. Just ask Newgrounds, the landing spot for a ton of 2000s animators, artists, and programmers alike. Anybody play The Binding of Isaac and Super Meat Boy? Guess where those guys got started? In memory of communities like Newgrounds and the passionate developers who dedicated countless hours creating free content, we deep dive into the strange world of Adobe's discontinued platform. It's Flash to the Past today on
PapNapples
XP. Here's how this video is going to work. I picked out a plethora of Flash games, 20 to be exact, all with various different themes, genres, and playstyles, and I'll be covering them one by one for your viewing pleasure. The order is mostly random, except for the double sections, in which case, the two games are similar enough to each other to be lumped together. I'll be presenting them with my trademark PapNapples flair, so don't get your panties in a bunch if I don't go into too much detail with all of them. With that said, let's get it started.
Shut up and take my money!
The first game we're going to look at is called Spank the Monkey. And yes, it's a clever play on words. We get to literally spank a monkey. With that kind of name though, you could have very easily found yourself on the sexy side of browser games. So what's the scoop? Well, honestly, not much. We do get to whack the hell out of this cheap blow-up monkey. We take control of this giant pixelated hand and swing it with the mouse cursor. On successful contact, Curious George goes flying, and that speed is calculated in miles per hour. This is the one and only goal here. Nothing to unlock, same exact scenario each and every time. But you know what? That's sort of the charm of these kinds of games. Don't get me wrong, extra content is nice and all. It's just sometimes you want a micro experience. Something to play for a few minutes and then move on to something else. With that said, let's give this chimp one final smack. Swing bada 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 bada, swing bada. At this point, it's pretty safe to say we're all aware of the franchise Angry Birds. You know, those cartoon birds you violently sling at stuff? Yeah, those. They sat at the top of the mobile charts for years, got 2 feature films, as well as mountains and mountains of merchandise. But we're not here to talk about Angry Birds today. Instead, the game that, at the very least, inspired it. Crush the Castle made its way onto the internet all the way back in April 28th of 2009, 7 months before those chickens. The two are eerily similar as far as concept goes. Take out the enemies within their physics-based fortresses. Crush the Castle's going for a more medieval theme, so obviously we whip out the catapult. We start out with small rocks that do condensed damage, and after a few levels we get the grouped variant. This is the way the game does upgrades. 1, then 3. It goes from small rock to medium to large, and then finally the bombs. These little firecrackers are clearly the greatest weapon to choose from, probably why they waited to the very end to give them to us. By the way, these structures are just fun as hell to try and watch stay up. The types of castles we get to crush go from rickety hobo slums I wouldn't make brownies in, to bronze-encased skyscrapers. But nothing my bombs can't handle. After rampaging through the land, a one-man army, I topple the last castle and beat the game. We unlock a creative mode, but I'm not what you call a handyman. Double trouble in QWOP and CLOP. Since both these games are so similar and created by the same guy, Bennett Foddy, we might as well talk about them together. Let's start with QWOP, which actually had somewhat of a popular streak back in the early part of the 2010s, with guys like Markiplier doing Let's Plays of it.
Okay. Oh, that was beautiful! This is beautiful! You're a beautiful shining star!
You are QWOP, our small nation's sole representative at the Olympic Games. Use the QWOP keys to move your legs. Alright, sounds simple enough. Okay. Take a step. Ah, shit! One leg in front of the other. And... God, these physics are floppy. Can't even make it past the starting line. Left foot. QWOP is, let's just say, awkward to control. At least at first. You take a step and, whoops, didn't get a flat landing. Try again. Whoops, extended the leg too far. What seems like an impossible task in reaching 100 meters slowly but surely becomes more and more tangible as you play on. For starters, coming to grips with the controls. You see, from what I've found, the best way to move forward is by pairing each thigh with a specific calf, pressing them together in a sequence. It goes WO, QP, WO, QP. The real challenge is just keeping the upper body, well, upward. Here's the trick. Try and keep the progressing leg at a 90-degree angle to the ground, as well as your foot straight and level before landing. You'll have a good chance of success. What's left is a balancing act. Well, unless you know the super secret technique. Instead of this whole running BS, you could opt to do the stomp. I was going to attempt to explain it with words, but screw that. Just watch me. Yeah, Smo ain't got shit on me. Come on. Do the stomp. The furthest I was able to make it was 74.8 meters. Let me know how far you got in the comments below. Mother trucker. CLOP takes the same concept and turns it on its head, so to speak. Instead of an Olympic athlete, this time we're a unicorn, or at least a horse with a horn glued to its head. Unlike QWOP, which spells out the controls, this time we'll be using the HJKL keys. No cav options either. It's left front, right back, right front, left back. When pressed in sequential order, you'll get this rhythmic motion and sound that feels way more natural than the previous game. If you're able to keep ramping up the speed, which by the way is difficult to maintain, my right hand is unfortunately not my rock band hand. Where's the pain? Well, unlike before, we've now got somewhat of an environment to traverse. Rocks and stone bricks layer the countryside. And no, I'm unaware of the appropriate way to tackle them. Just go at a modest speed and hope for the best. The real kick in the head has to be the uneven ground. That will, more often than not, completely stop you in your tracks, causing you to, I don't know, flop on your face like a fish out of water. Once you get past those obstacles, you'll be confronted with the mountain. Now, I don't want to dishearten anyone from giving this one a try, but I have to be honest, I could not conquer it. I tried going fast. Nope. Flipped on my back. Tried taking it slow. You have better luck dressing up that QWOP guy like a horse and, you know.
Hey, I do the farting.
Hexagon is what I like to call a reflex game. One with an awesome soundtrack. You control this little triangle, and you can't touch anything. Instead of moving around freeform, dodging stuff like your typical Vidya experience, we've got to orbit this here hexagon. Obstacles come to us, each with one of a few patterns. The commonality between them being these gaps, which are all completely makeable. Makeable. Yeah, the difficulty rises pretty fast. You're going to have to be focused with each and every second you move. It's not too much of a task in the beginning, but Jesus, you'll need some real confidence if you plan on playing for very long. While I do feel like it goes way too fast, way too soon, it does have the elements of what makes something painfully enjoyable. I'll end this section with a clip of me playing the desktop version all the way back in 2014. Take it away, younger me.
Hear the bass bumping. Damn, I'm badass.
Ryan.
What? Fuck. You're changing me. Damn. This is pretty badass.
Kitten Cannon, as the name suggests, involves exploding the crap out of furry felines. The goal is, like a lot of Flash games, to try and get the highest score. In this case, that means going the furthest distance possible. What's in the way between us and becoming the Cat Blastum Master? Well, what isn't in the way? There's bombs hanging from multicolored balloons, trampolines, ground explosives. These are the things you want to be hitting, since they give us some much needed extra distance. Not so much with the trampoline. If luck's on your side though, even those can combo into some intense speed. Let's get real though, the thing you're way more likely to come in contact with are the spikes and Venus flytraps. I realize it may sound silly with all the cat explosions and ground impacts, but it's a little bit gruesome thinking about a cat getting digested like that. On the other hand, spikes would be just as gnarly. I gotta say, the sound effect is weirdly satisfying. Is that just me? As far as controls go, we don't actually do much. While we don't take control of our unlucky friend during active airtime, we get to choose the angle, as well as launch power through this meter. Ideally, you'll want to be hitting it when full, for maximum throwing distance. I remember the first time I played Kitten Cannon. It was 7th grade in some weird class. I don't know, maintenance or something. Like weed eating and changing light bulbs and that kind of stuff. This day, we weren't doing anything but sitting in a mostly empty classroom. Channing was what we call the class clown. Why do I say that, you may ask? Well, one year he convinced a few of our classmates to engage in what I'll dub the sweaty Sanchez. Unlike the dirty Sanchez, which I believe he also attempted but can't 100% recall, where you finger your butt crack and wipe it above the lip area. This way, you simply move from your crack to your testes and smear your ball juice onto what would someday become the stash. I didn't take part when it was going down. Thanks to good old gender stereotypes, though, all the boys got punished. I will not wipe my bodily fluids on the faces of my fellow classmates. Channing's a cool cat, but you better be on your guard, yo.
Snake, are you okay? Snake? Snake!
Anybody remember watching Zombieland? You know, that horror comedy with Woody Harrelson and his scrawny sidekick Michael Cera? Or is it Jesse Eisenberg? Yeah, that guy. Though it was in a super oversaturated genre, it was a pretty decent flick for the time. If you're looking for some zombie-killing hijinks, a little romance, as well as a sprinkle of Bill Murray, there you have it.
Oh, I'm on fire!
We're not here to talk about the movie. We're here to talk about the tie-in Flash game, titled Zombieland Baseball. Or at least I think it's a tie-in. The description on Flashpoint says it's inspired by the movie. So who knows? The game opens with a cheeky advert. Zombieland, nut up or shut up. Out on DVD now. Skippy Dippy. So we're Woody, out in the parking lot of that amusement park from the film, batting at undead clowns. I don't want to offend anybody, but, well, what the hell? Baseball sucks ass. Don't get me wrong, it's fun to play and all that, but watching it, I'd rather clip an ingrown toenail. Alright, so if you hit the ball the very second you can, it goes in a high arc. Not the easiest thing to aim, that's for sure. If you wait to the very last second, boom! That's what I'm talking about. It does say to let it bounce on the ground first before hitting it, but obviously I didn't read that and am looking at it in hindsight. After breaking some skulls, we beat the level. And here's the shop. Tallahassee's looking like he's either disappointed or contemplating a stanky fart. And Columbus is disgusted, but still wants to see if he shat his britches. We got 1 skill point, and it's probably 1 per level. We can either increase our hitting power or throwing power, which I guess increases the speed of the balls. We can also, quote, fix bat. This must mean our bat can break at some point, though I didn't play long enough for that to come into play. We've also unlocked a special weapon in the bowling ball. Now, in reality, you would never be able to launch those things like that. But in reality, you ain't Tallahassee. The only other upgrade I unlocked was the spiky dynamite ball. And yes, it does some major damage. Sadly though, it wasn't enough to make up for my sucky baseball skills. After 5 short stages, all with the same background, I finally succumbed to the goofy zombie horde. What can I say about Zombieland Baseball that isn't obvious by looking at it? Well, for one, it's about 10 times better than that Seed of Chucky game. Double Bubble in Max Dirt Bike and Bike Mania 2. Being completely honest with you guys, my main squeeze when it comes to Flash genres has to be dirt bike games. I can't tell you how many of these related games I tried way back in my computer lab days, and those minutes on the web really had to count back then. I could have honestly made an entire video of just those. So instead, I'm just going to choose two that stuck out in my memory the most. Max Dirt Bike first. So you'll notice right off the bat, it's not your typical biker aesthetic. The background, instead of being some outdoor nature type image, replaced with the sleek and abstract. After finishing 5 levels, the picture switches. The bottom of a CG fish bowl, green lines with a gradient, and lastly, gold bars and glowing headphones. Truly, this is the one that lives up to the title of abstract. Maybe it's a guy pouring a tea kettle as the sunset illuminates the apartment. Whatever. Our guy, little biker dude, is blacked out, and the obstacles are white. The game they inhabit has some pretty pleasant physics. Now, you can find some strange moments here and there, but mostly it's the right levels of fun to challenging. The goal is to simply get to the end. It could not get more simple. The peanut butter in between each start and end is the environment, made up of various rectangles, circles, and sharp spikes. You'll have to keep the wheels turning and your head unbashed through ever-growing complexity. Bike Mania 2? Why didn't I pick the first one? Or hell, any of the other ones in that series? It's just the one I remember playing. Sorry, brah. Unlike the previous title, Bike Mania 2 goes for a more realistic style. Realistic as in strangely placed crap inside a big old junkyard, which in fairness is much more immersive and exciting to traverse compared to bland white shapes. The physics this time are quite a bit more sensitive, which given the dynamic obstacles makes the climbing less of a casual drive and more like easy, easy, oh no! For the rest of the game, you know the drill. Get to the end of the level as the difficulty ramps up. Both Max and Mania are short little games, so opposed to over-explaining something obviously simple, I'll just end it with these clips. Meet Ray, a choose-your-own-story game. This is part 1, and due to time constraints, we'll just keep it at that for now. Clearly, he's some sort of badass. So you know what? I'm going to try and attempt a pacifist run. No guarantees, but let's see how far we can take it. You go down to the liquor store to buy some booze. On your way out, you encounter a bum who appears to be some sort of war hero.
Hey, can you spare some change?
You either A, give him some cash, B, throw your bottle at his head, C, share the love, or D, ignore the parasite. You're too good for him. Come on, man. We gotta spread the love. Everybody loves Ray, man. On the way back to your car, you notice 2 guys standing behind you, and they look pissed.
Hey, how about giving us the keys to your car?
Nice music you got there. Those beats are bumping.
Get him.
Well, you gotta do a play like that. We drive by a pizza joint, and turns out that weirdo throwing vibes at our woman works there. Time to teach this guy a lesson. Well, let's hope it's a lesson in eloquent discussion. Come on, going commando already? Which of these seem the most peaceful? Ba 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 ba. One between the eyes. Let's call it compassionate release. Oh, I can't believe it's taken me this long to mention it, but yeah, it isn't hard to guess what this game's trying to look like. We make it home and, just like our old pal Max Payne, pass out on the couch drunk.
This storm is now 1,000 miles wide, and it's just moving right across the country. The good news is...
Hey Ray, I got a job for you. Come down to the cafe and I'll tell you what you gotta do.
Wouldn't you know it, we got some business.
Okay, here it is. This woman has been kidnapped. This guy knows where she is. And he's out back. Go beat it out of him. And then go get her. The pay is $5,000.
Let's give this guy a stern talking to. Where is she, sir?
I'm not telling you shit.
Would you do it for a Klondike bar?
I'm not telling you shit.
You leave me no choice. Welcome to Pound Town.
You'll hit like a bitch.
Headache punch. I won't ask you again, partner.
Okay, I tell you. Take the address out of my top pocket.
A, B, or C. Let's just get going. We get to where they're keeping the chick. Snipe the guard and his bald buddy. Terrible genetics. A little stealth in the house. Well, maybe not. Try that again. And bada bing, bada boom. The room where she's at. Better bring out the big guns. Not gonna catch me going in half-cocked. Who do you think I am? Girl's in the back seat. Time to bounce. Too bad we got spotted on the cams. Time for an action movie chase sequence. Slow down. That's the right thing to do, right? Okay, then. I'm hit! Ah! It's you and me, mano a mano. Bow digga 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 pow pow. Bow digga 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 pow pow. Bow digga 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 pow pow. So, we ain't looking too hot. On top of that, we hoofing it. Ask him to get off? Yeah. We make it back home safe and sound. But for how long? That ends part 1. What a vulgar little experience. I tried my best to be a thoughtful sissy. I really did. But the ways of the bloodshed were just too damn tantalizing. What can you do? Since I've let my anger fly, let's see how the other options played out.
Holy shit!
Here we go. Not English. Okay, the Flashpoint software says it's called Syobon Action. Right on. Mario music, question mark block. Don't tell me this is a Super Mario clone. World 1. Well, if it's a blast to the past we're in for, we might as well see how faithful it really is. 3 lives. We play as an anthropomorphic cat, which means Syobon either translates to feline or furry. 1-1. And yeah, this is definitely a fan game. The Goombas are looking a lot more ghostly, very much in the likeness of the Boo character. And no, I didn't attack one to find out. What? Maybe it's a glitch in the programming. Bomb, 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 bomb. Smash, smash. Maybe it's the lost levels that this game's trying to copy. Wah, wait, jump. Nice. Mushroom time. Ah, God. No, don't tell me. It's a rage game. You remember, right? Those stupidly impossible platformers that bring the pain, where everything's a trap and plays on all the conventional genre tropes. Pipes take you to new places. Blocks don't magically appear to close you in. And of course, once you've crossed the finish line, you've won. These compressed frustration capsules bring to life that yes, sometimes a ball-busting difficulty is enjoyable. Watch one of PewDiePie or Markiplier's rage videos and tell me if it isn't fun to watch the anger flow.
Oh, you tried? No! Because you loot? No! What?
Syobon Action is a quality little kick in the nuts, or twat for all you ladies out there. Dead Zed 2, our first zombie shooter, which was a truly oversaturated genre back in Flash's limelight. Within the era of Walking Dead and a billion zombie flicks, of course, the infection wouldn't stay isolated for very long. Unlike so many of those games though, Z2 is 3D, or at least I think it's 3D. The zombs definitely look like models, and there definitely is some degree of three-dimensional perspective. I'll say, yeah, it is. Although truthfully, if it was some kind of creative 2D layering, I wouldn't be surprised. As you can see, this is a shooty bang bang game. This is us, a pair of floating hands. Obviously, we're packing heat. Whether we're chained to the ground or just too damn lazy to give a crap about this whole moving thing, this is where we'll be spending our time during active gameplay. The game is broken up into days, and with every new one, a horde of the prowling undead. Our task is to stand our ground, quite literally, and blow these chumps away. Each one can take a good walloping, several body shots. So to counteract this, we'll be gunning for the headshot. While yes, a good chunk can take multiple of these, it is by far the best way to thin out the herd. When the day's aggressors are dealt with, we get a detailed summary and continue to the menu. Here we can glimpse the map and what's next on the docket. 3 submenus: weapons, upgrades, and survivors. Weapons, alongside survivors, are all unlocked randomly, I'm pretty sure, after each level you complete. Now, you very well may go several levels without gaining diddly squat. That unfortunately happened to me a good chunk of the time actually. When you do unlock a new weapon, it could be one of 16. I started with a basic pistol, then came the bow and arrow, which I usually prefer in video games. But, I don't know, while it does do some decent damage, it's just so unbearably slow to reload. I'm also not nearly as accurate with aiming to make it a must-use. Following that, I got the bolt-action rifle. Maybe it's just me, but this weapon is freaking awesome. It's still a bit slow, but geez, it really puts them away. While I did try and use the other weapons as they unlocked, this was my main squeeze through my entire playthrough. Upgrades are, as they sound, upgrades. There's 4 of them: floodlights, stronger barricades, TNT, and radio station. That increases the chance of finding additional survivors. If you buy the TNT upgrade, you gain the ability to purchase field explosives, and the option to place them before each wave. If they somehow withstand the hellfire, you may end up needing to contact Tim the Toolman Taylor. Last but not least is survivors. As you finish days, you will acquire these helpful drifters, all of whom have 3 designated stats. Top is for shooting skill, how good they are with a piece. 2, melee, how well they enforce the law at the border. And 3, search party, the skill of persuasion. You can assign each to what they do best, and or what you need in the moment. You may have noticed a 4th position, and you're right. The final job is that of a personal assistant, one that helps with weapon reloading and switching speed. If you've got enough dudes, whatever, it's not a complete waste. The real trouble with these guys is honestly their availability. As I said before, for good stretches, I'd barely see more than one of them, meaning I'd have to put guys in spots they might be terrible in. And when they inevitably die due to sucking major donkey, who's supposed to replace them exactly? Trying to keep my understaffed ship afloat was just not possible. Regardless, the game's a high point of the medium. That's some mad props. Since we've, up to this point, left out the point-and-click genre, I might as well check one out. I Remain. Yeah, I remember that one. You ran into the abandoned house to escape the zombie hordes. But now what? Here's the crib. Needs a bit of TLC. Here's us, pointy finger hand. And our first course of business is closing these open windows. Would you looky there? Conveniently placed hammer and nails. Before we can use them, we've got to do some combining. No polymerization card needed. Bam! Grab the magnet, curtain, and clamp from over here. Need a key to open this drawer. So sore, so hungry. Been there. I hid the key to the car, otherwise they would have tried to take it. Looks like we know what to do. Snag this guy's whip and get the F up out of here. Just gotta find him. Oh, key? That'd be too easy. Basement's locked, so this must be the place. First problem, one of those zombies made it down here, and what we got now ain't working on him. Before we go, we snagged a sneaky box of nails here. Circuit breaker? Maybe this will solve our basement problem. Nope, missing a socket. There's a short in one of the basement sockets. Do not use the power outlet down there when it's full of water. Okay. Guess we're gonna shock 'em dead. Board up the hallway window, and somehow we find no resistance from those guys. 2 reasons: simps or gimps. In the bathroom, we find us an extension cable and a kitchen pot. What happened to the turlet? Don't tell me those bandits the owner was talking about really made off with the crapper. As it stands, there's a pipe that's hiding something shiny. In what world would that be on your mind in this scenario? Well, can't reach it now. I thought maybe we can combine the curtain and clamp together with the magnet, but nope. We need something more. The guest bedroom. Another curtain, and would you look at that? Just what the doctor ordered. My brother has turned into one of those things. I've locked him in the basement, but he has the key to his bedroom. Let's go fry up some bacon. X marks the spot. Houston, we have a problem. The chump's not dead. I search here, 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 and here. Nothing. Come on, game. There's gotta be something. Wait. What? I didn't see it. Basement's safe again. Well, not exactly. Now that the power's on, it's become 100% more shocking. Swap the sockets and presto. get the key, clamp the pipe, a third curtain piece, master bedroom. Here we find more innocuously placed items. Amongst these is a power drill, used with the extension cord to remove the grate to the outside, and a fishing hook. Long story short, we combine it with the magnet, which we then drop into the bathroom pipe that you'll have to dump water into from your trusty pot. There's the car keys. Bada bing, bada boom. As far as the rest of the game goes, I'm going to leave off here and let you find out for yourself if you've got what it takes. I'm not. I got stuck like 2 times and had to consult a walkthrough. Like my mama always used to say, a walkthrough ain't cheating if you're going to quit without one. That's smart thinking, mama. This seems like a good enough point to talk about this kind of game. Launchers. As the name implies, you do just that. Launch stuff. In the case of the Potty Racers series, porta potties. As we've seen with Jackass, the modern day porta-john is quite the versatile item. Let's start with the newest entry into the series, Potty Racers 4 World Tour. One day on the family farm, young Billy starts daydreaming about the previous title, when out of nowhere, boom! What's that? Uranus. No, don't touch that! Collect all the stars around the world. Good old North America. Click. Here's the goals. Get the star at the St. Louis Arch, Washington Monument Base, and Lady Liberty's foot. What the hell is that thing? Whatever, let's do this thing. We push forward, and here's the controls. A and D, or left and right arrow keys, to tilt the crapper. Jeez, we didn't get far at all. How do we fix that? Well, gold. 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 If you're able to collect these randomly placed floating coins, you can exchange them in the shop for upgrades. Better tires, body, wings, engine, fuel tank, and profit. 6 improvements per section, with gradually climbing price tags. That is essentially the entire cycle in a nutshell. Crappy airtime, gather some cheddar, buy an upgrade, get a little further, gather even more moolah, rinse and repeat. Well, what about the excitement? For starters, the fuel tank, as just mentioned, gives us a pretty sweet boost mechanic. At its weakest, it gives us a short but powerful little nitrous, or should I say, flatulence boost. I, being the king of patience, usually deplete it within the very first seconds after launch. Thankfully, World Tour includes the much appreciated gas refill pickup. If you end up getting lucky, you can get a bunch of them and get way farther than otherwise possible. Looking back at the footage, it's pretty obvious what this orb thing does, but I couldn't tell you what it was when I was playing. Am I to dedicate my attention to this alien-looking device when I'm actively flying and going down fast at that? If it's all a little too time-consuming, you could always buy one of the 3 sick tricks that give you a variety of different abilities. At least for the first one, when you start to boogie, you become a magnet that attracts all pickups within a 10-foot radius. If you're looking for something a little less rude and crude, you'll want to check out the game called Flight. It has a lot of the same core mechanics, just a bit more well-refined in my opinion. For starters, we no longer control a turd closet. Instead, the classic paper airplane. You know, thinking about it, I don't think I've even attempted to make one of these things since middle school. Anyway, grab and toss it like we're playing Spank the Monkey. Gah! Whoa, 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 whoa. Pretty pathetic, right? That's where the shop comes in. And unlike potty racers, has way more going on. Lots of options. Increased throwing power, wind resistance, fire engine. There's our boost. Rudder control gives us tilt functionality, but this time it'll cost us our precious fuel resource. Once you've acquired a few of these upgrades, you'll be flying high in no time. The moment-to-moment gameplay is truly in a league of its own. We've got to try and balance fuel consumption and upward trajectory, catching the Benjamins, pink cranes that multiply their value, shooting stars that are deceptively difficult to hit, which throw your thrusters into overdrive. Woohoo! If you're about to crash land, there's even a chance to catch a blue pinwheel that'll bail you out. If only temporary. Progress is made in distance traveled. Not all at once, just in general. It's pretty mellow about it. And with these kind of aesthetics, would you expect anything else? In between levels, we get the story. A sad, yet hopeful narrative beginning with a young girl writing to Santa. If you think that tone is shared through the entire duration, you would be very wrong. By the way, I want to clarify something while still in this section. The reason Kitten Cannon isn't being lumped in with the launcher type games is primarily the differences between them. The first and main reason being that there really isn't a goal in Kitten Cannon. Given the emphasis on upgrading in the two previous titles, it just didn't make sense to include what is essentially a high score game. With that said, on to the next entry. Okay, some kind of horror thing. Use headphones for greater effect. Alright. Not sure if I've heard that music before, but tight. Oh, are you the evil doll? Hide from the doll till morning. Shit! What is going on with this perspective? Hopefully it's just a cutscene. This where we're hiding, I guess? What the f*** was that? Clicking the door does absolutely nothing. Jeez. Looks like we're gonna have to bounce up out of this room. Oh my god, this game. It's legit trying to do a horror chase. That would be a fine enough mechanic, if not for the wildly bizarre perspective choice. This game is 2D. That part is obvious. But instead of using the tried and true formula of what makes a good 2D horror, they instead crafted this unusual pseudo 3D visual. Now 3D is obviously a bit of a stretch. We're literally dealing with static pictures. I more so am referring to the way the images are laid out, in such a manner to at least partially emulate the first person. Now, I have seen this in a few point-and-click games, when exploring various parts of, let's say, the house. Never have, at least for me, seen it used in such a way that requires spatial timing. We gotta move some weight, and move it fast. This doll has got my number. I'm sorry, but this is just so freaking bizarre to navigate. I go forward, make the corner, and, it's all so similar. Before I can catch my breath, stubby little Asians coming to get her a slice. I would continue, but I don't think I can go any further. So, next. So, it's come to my attention that a game I was about to show you was, in fact, not actually a Flash game. I had mistakenly added the OG cookie clicker to the list without doing my fact checking first. It wasn't until I was watching my final edit did I think, maybe I'll take a look. Oh shit! It's HTML5! Fuck! Now, honestly, it probably wouldn't have mattered much to all but the most scrupulous among you. I don't know, it just didn't feel right doing a Flash video and including non-Flash related games. I was finished with the video and everything, but you know what? Somebody's gotta have some goddamn integrity, and I'm the man for the job. Here's Cactus Mccoy instead. Enjoy. Enter your name below. PapNapples.
McCoy.
Huh? I got this here damn treasure map. Go get me that green spike ball. Here's some cheddar, boy. This must be the place. I'm just gonna take this here. Screw your curse, biatch. Oh shit! I think I'm a cactus. I look like Kevin from SpongeBob.
From human to cactus, then finally stone. The curse will continue until it is home.
Blah blah.
Take the jewel home, dog.
And we're off. Oh yeah, and Boss Man is pissed and already has our picture. We better skedaddle. Okay, so this is a platformer. One with a groovy idle animation. Moving is left and right, jump with the A button. Yeah, I shouldn't have to explain what a jumpy game is to you guys. Although I will say, while having a few quirks, like very generous platform snapping, it does feel really high quality. Giant pencils blocking our way. Don't know what that's about. Guess we gotta scare the crows. Oh yeah, punchy as all hell. What was back the other way? Our first secret treasure. 1 of 5 per level. I guess you get more cash for finding them, but I never found all of them in a zone to know exactly for sure. There's also these posters with your mug on it to collect. For something, I don't know. Each level has a different thing in its place. Which, yeah, that's already way more stuff to do than 99% of all the Flash games I've ever played. Oh yeah, and there's bonus objectives if you're into that sort of thing too. Beat the time, kill all of a certain kind of enemy. The enemies, oh yeah. As you saw with our sick beatdown of those scarecrows, this is an action platformer. How action is it? More action than you can handle. For starters, there are 5 types of weapons to kill a varmint. Hand-to-hand whoop ass. Swinging boards, pipes, and even your fellow brethren. High noon gunslinging. Throwables which include dynamite, as well as frisbee scissors, I guess. I never found any whip weapons, so moving on. When you're done laying the smackdown on these chumps, they do you a courtesy and empty their wallets. You spend it on upgrading whichever type you prefer. I don't know if it's just the early levels, but I never really felt any sort of threat from these guys. Once you lay hands, they're pretty much stun locked until you either kill them or do something else. In fairness, when they do decide to gang up on you, it can be a bit of a struggle. They really only become serious during the final battle of each stage. Once you knock their socks off, you get another piece of the map, and on the cycle goes. Cactus Canyon, Prospector Mines, Rustler Railroad, Shady Springs, and so on, for another 8 levels. I gotta say, what an impressive Flash experience. If that wasn't good enough for you, look, a chicken. Red Remover. Hey, you remember these kind of adverts? Play this game now on your iPhone. You can guess what era this was. We've actually seen a bunch of these through our browser adventures. Anyway, Red Remover. Wow, that's a good bit of levels. What is that, 40? Red shapes are miserable. Remove them by clicking on them. Here we go. Click. Boom shakalaka. Yeah! What's the first game you thought of when hearing that sound? Yeah, this game came first. It is a free sound effect after all. Can't click on dark reds. Make them fall off the screen instead. Say no more. Here's the real star of the show, Green Block. Our mission from here on in is to make sure we do not lose a single solitary one of them. A red one's in the way. That's too damn bad. We sit upon a phallic tower. Timber! Blue shapes are neutral. It doesn't matter if they stay or go. Fence rider, eh? We don't take kindly to your folk around here. The puzzles rapidly begin to test what you're made of. Gravity starts out being this chill little goofball, but that girl's a straight up hoe. It's just... what? Welp, bye. By the way, when you fail, you get this sound effect. You know, I know this much thought wasn't really put into it, but you gotta wonder if these red blocks, being grumpy and all, are actually just fed up with life, and it's actually the secret goal to put them out of their misery. That is a moral conundrum. Sugar, Sugar, or as I like to say, Sugar, Sugar, is a creative drawing game. You won't be literally drawing pictures or anything, instead painting custom paths that lead sugar to cups. What's in the cup? Coffee maybe? Maybe a little iced tea? At any rate, our job is to make sure that the drink gets a good splash of that sweet nectar. Level 1. Here's a good pointer. Make sure to try and draw smooth lines. If you somehow do what I did, prepare to do some waiting as the sugar takes its sweet time. But-up, bump. A 100 grains of that sticky, which you'd assume be on some sort of time limit and eventually run out. But nope, relax. There's no rush. Level 2 is, as expected, double the difficulty. I did all right. If it works, it works. New mechanic, the colorizer. When grains go through this thing, they get redified. Which, if it's meant to be like food coloring, would not make a darn bit of difference. I think I messed up. Ain't no sugar getting through there. This time, do white first, then branch off to the red. Yeah, oh yeah. Level 4 has a portal mechanic. What surely was the most efficient routing. Get her done. As you might have assumed, the game continues to up the ante. Green, orange, gravity, anti-gravity, a whole 30 levels to play to your heart's content. It's quality Flash done right. Just don't play for too long, or you'll need to check your blood sugar.
Hi, I'm Wilford Brimley, and I've had diabetes for about 20 years.
Swords and Souls, a soul adventure. Well, I kind of figured that much. This here is a turn-based RPG, that ancient style of role-playing game before games like Dark Souls began the era of action. Anyways, we get a pretty awesome character creator, at least as far as Flash games go. Mohawk, giant bald spot. Hey, there we go, Super Saiyan. Just gotta get the color right. Yeah. Enter a name, Sir PapNapples.
Welcome, PapNapples. I am Sir Scarrow, at your service. Fighting in the arena could make you rich and famous, or quite dead. Show me what you could do.
Let's do this thing. The Newbies Arena. Let's dance, you, mosquito. That's nice. The battles all play out automatically without having to press the end button. Oh shit! The mole spanked my cheeks. Looks like we better do some training. The dude won't work with us unless we open a window, so... First we improve our melee, and wow, it's a whole minigame. Sir Scarecrow Guy chucks apples at us that either go up, middle, or in the down direction. It starts out quite slow and manageable, but the higher your combo, the more intense the challenge becomes. There's also falling stars behind us, and the only way to collect them is to, well, bump that ass. We'll want to be collecting these throughout all the minigames. What's next to train? Defense. More apples are coming our way. This time, we gotta block them. Ironically, I was blocking the stars thinking that's what I was supposed to do, but nope. You have to collect them with your booty. This guy must have some clappers or something.
Yeah, there he goes.
As far as the training goes, there's nothing actually in place to stop you from just non-stop leveling up. At least I think so. By the time I came out, I leveled up like 10 plus times. Kind of felt like I was walking out of the hyperbolic time chamber from Dragon Ball Z. Powerful's right. I squashed the next 2 stages without so much as a sweat. The following one was still a bit too much for me, so it's off to spend some stat points. Geez, what a detailed system. Statistics, skills, and talents, all with their own specific points. Stats are as you would imagine: damage percentage, range accuracy, blocking, and the always overlooked but super OP chance for a critical hit. You can think of the talent section kind of like a perk from Fallout. Set it and forget it. The skills, however, get used in active gameplay. There's the double poke, a shield bash that stuns, and a way to poison your opponent. Those are the only ones I collected, each with a specific cooldown time after use. You will 100% need these, alongside the potions, spells, and weapon upgrades from the shop. This game, while looking cute, is effing hard. Honestly, as far as Flash RPG games go, this is truly a shining example of good games come from good developers, not the platform itself. There's trophies to unlock, a house with a big titty girl to build, and even an investment system. If you're looking for a cool Flash experience, look no further. 20 Flash games completed. From weird, to frustrating, to mildly addicting. We've covered a decent amount of the genres today, and yet it's a far cry from the sheer amount of stuff that's out there. The format reigned for such a long time, it's probably an impossibility to get a full view of its magnitude. That's why I chose a select few to cover, that I thought might be fun for both of us to revisit. I hope this has sparked a fire in you to perhaps replay some of your favorite oldies. What's the worst that's gonna happen? You waste what, 15 minutes? Come on, dust off the old keyboard and mouse and download Flashpoint 10. or whatever's the newest version. It's a fantastic software that lets you play tons and tons of Flashware. User playlists, no required setup, and automatic offline availability after booting a game. It really is simply the best way to load this software nowadays. Considering the last I checked, Flash doesn't work at all anymore. If this stuff tingles your little nostalgia hairs, go throw your support their way. It's groups like these that keep history alive and out of the slimy palms of lost media. What's stopping you? Ain't got a gaming PC? Well, I guess that's good news. Flash can legit run on a potato. Boot up that ancient dinosaur and get gaming, brah. There's the video. If you enjoy this more long-form style of content, make sure to subscribe. It shows me that you guys want more high-effort content like this. Also, let me know if I brought back any Flash memories for you. And if not, hey, what were your computer lab jams back in the day? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, I'm PapNapples.